So in talking with climate change minister James Shaw at this conference, one thing that did really hearten me was the interest in the audience about this thing. Well, how are people going to organise? How are citizens going to mobilise to have a mass uptake in attitude and in our behaviours, in changing the way that society operates, so we use less carbon based energies, to have the people to be free to be able to put their attention on that. And when you have a lot of people in poverty, when there's systemic economic violence, right, that forces people into what's basically a spectrum of slavery, you're not free. You're so busy on the daily grind trying to earn a living, or you're spending so much time looking for a job, and that takes up a lot of time. Jobs that may not necessarily be out there, there's not enough to go around. How am I meant to feed my kids and pay my bills? When people are under that kind of pressure, they're not free. They don't have enough free attention to think and reflect on their conduct and how they're contributing to the climate crisis, or how they could mitigate their behaviours and improve. So yeah, he said, well, yeah, that's true. The most vulnerable in society are going to be hit first by climate crisis effects, and hardest. And that means the usual suspects: children, people in poverty, women, the disabled, the elderly, those people are going to be hit first. So how are we going to free society? Like, if we had a equitable distribution of wealth in Aotearoa, if the WIN system, for example, was transformed so that it wasn't punishing people for being in a precarious financial position, but it supported them to move into the voluntary sector so we could do all this awesome mahi, that would really help empower people with civics education so they know how to hold our elected officials accountable, right? Those sorts of things. Give people a standard of living so they're not stressed out about where their next dollar's coming from, and then they'll be more likely to say, society cares about me, so I'm going to care about society and the environment, and I'm going to put my shoulder in behind this movement to be carbon net neutral by earlier than 2050. Hopefully it's got to be sooner than that, but so yeah, we had a good hard conversation about that. James didn't have any real answers. Again, it's for the people to come up with the answers, so that's our challenge, whānau.